Have you ever wondered how to switch to a new web hosting? Do you often wonder why you need to change the website hosting service? Have you found yourself frequently thinking if you have proper knowledge of well-suited website hosting? If yes, then you have landed on the right video. Welcome back to another episode of Colorful Finance, the #1 source for content centered around earning money from home. We provide you with theoretical experience in our videos and practical experience with the tools we provide you in the description. Subscribe to the channel so you're always up to date with our latest uploads. In this video, we'll take you through everything you need to know about the steps to switching to a new web hosting. Now let's get into it. New web hosting company switching to a major lacework hosting interest can be a rigid task, but we have provided you a guide of things to carry off that can go into your transition inimitably smoother. 1. Before you can see it unfolding for your new web hosting services, make sure that your new plan offers all of the same features that your website is currently using. Do you have enough disk space? Does your new plan offer enough bandwidth? Is it using the same operating system, Windows or Unix? Also, make sure that your new plan supports any programming languages that you are currently using. 2. Once you have researched the company and verified that the new web hosting company will support your website, go ahead and sign up for your new web hosting plan. 3. Set up your existing email accounts on your new server. Make note of the new POP3 and SMTP that you will soon need to start using. 4. Upload your website files to your new server. Since your domain name currently points to your old hosting account, you will have to use your new IP address to do this. 5. Test to make sure that your site looks good and functions properly on your new server. Most web hosting companies can provide a link to preview your site before the domain name has been transferred over. 6. Once you are satisfied that your site looks and functions okay, you can go to your registrar and change the DNS settings to point the domain to the new web host name servers. You should be provided with this information after signing up for your account. 7. You will see your site on the new server 24 to 48 hours after you modify the DNS settings. Your email will also start going to your new account at this time. 8. Verify that your new website is working okay. Make sure that all of the files were loaded properly and that all scripts are running fine. You have now successfully switched to a new cheap web hosting company. What I need to know: go to change web hosting providers. When assistance at your lacework hosting worry is lacking, or your web property grows in traffic for hugely that you outgrow your characteristic account, you may bargain with yourself about needing to prevail over hosting providers. It can be scary to think about everything you need to do. Here are some things you should keep in mind that will help make the transition to the new host much easier. 1. Back up all of your files and databases. Before you clinch to transmit corporeality over, you love to trigger a backup of every tier and database you have on the hackneyed hosting provider's server. FTP matters. Your plain hosting tally and copy all of the files from your public HTML directory into a directory on your local hard drive that you'll find easy to remember later. As for the database, backup methods commit vary according to the database vendor, the dispense panel now used by the innkeeper if any, and the operating shortcut of the server. Most providers lock up a backup value that allows you to trade in a stereotype of the contents of all of your database tables. If there isn't a simple backup utility available, you will need to export the contents of your database in a comma-delimited file or the standard file format for the particular database you use. Most backup utilities will convert the database into one long SQL file that is then easy for any compatible database engine to reconstruct. 2. Transferring to the beside server. Make real that your website is seen properly at the in addition longitude before you disturb the DNS notice of your country name. While it may not be undeveloped to wholly navigate the country without the domain name pointing to it, you can still point to some individual pages to be sure they will come up. For this though, you'll need to use the IP address of your hosting account along with your username if you have a shared IP address. On a cPanel server, you would enter your main website will come up. You can use this address until the DNS information from the domain propagates throughout the web. 3. Tidy up the soft touch ends. Upload the backup row of your databases or carry out the SQL echelon you generated in the backup. This should steal your database fetch to what it was on the inactive server. Change the name server Illumination for your field name. This is halfway always entered upon with the registrar that you registered your domain with or with your old web hosting provider. They almost always assign you a username and password that allows you to log into an account that allows you to change the name servers. If you don't have a control panel, then simply email the company that registered your domain for you and ask them to change the name servers to the new servers. Within 24 to 48 hours, your website will be served from the new server and not the old one. Once you can confirm this, it is safe to ask the old web hosting company to delete and discontinue your old account. A web hosting package can be tailor-made to suit your entire needs. The foremost problem for many business, personal users who look for web hosting packages is selecting the right plan. Many companies provide you with many choices which can confuse your selection. Choosing the wrong web hosting package can cause you problems for your business. A. Decide your requirements. The requirement for a web hosting package will differ from personal to business users. So be sure to choose the package which is most suitable for your requirement. Decide how much space is needed to host your site and whether you require database access and also the type of server. The server may be Unix or an NT server. B. Data transfer requirement. If you are planning to host your business website, you will require more data transfer than a personal website. So, decide on your data transfer requirements carefully. Only you can decide on how much data transfer and space you need. C. POP mail access. Many web hosting packages come with POP3 access mail accounts free with the plan. So decide how many mail accounts you require and choose the package accordingly. D. Web hosting cost and setup cost. The next consideration you have to take into account is the hosting charges for the plan and setup costs. The cost considerations will differ according to your requirement and the plan you choose. E. Support from the hosting company. If you are hosting a business site, be careful about the credentials of the hosting company. Frequent disruptions can cost you dearly. You lose business and sales. So you require good and reliable support from the hosting company. The support also will depend upon the plan you choose. F. FTP access and transfer limit. Be sure about FTP access and FTP transfer limits. Without FTP access, you will be transferring files one by one. This will cost you valuable time. The limit for FTP is also important. And with that, we've reached the end of this video all about steps to switching to a new web hosting. Let us know in the comments section down below if you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful and interesting. Remember to leave a thumbs up before you leave. Also subscribe to Colorful Finance and click the notification bell so you're always up to date with our latest releases as always. Thanks for stopping by and watching. See you again soon in the next one.